Hello, class. Today we are going to be talking about turning a fraction into a decimal. Now, I've showed you guys how to do this before, where we just take our numerator and we divide it by our denominator, just like we did when we were dividing decimals. Well, the numbers you're going to be dealing with today are actually even easier. So I'm going to show you two different ways of getting to the same answer. We're going to talk about the really easy one that works well with these numbers first. So here you will see that we have our problem. It says the average length of a honeybee is 4/5 inch. So we need to write 4/5 as a decimal. Well, 4/5, we want it to have it with a denominator that is either 10 or 100. That's what we're shooting for because we have tenths and hundredths, and we already know how to write those as decimals. So let's take a look at what they have for us here. You'll notice that here we have our fraction of 4/5, and remember, we are multiplying by a fraction that has the same numerator as denominator. Here it is 2/2 or 2/2. So that ends up being equivalent to what? I hope you all said 1, because 2/2 is equivalent to 1. Well, we know that 5 times 2 is 10, so that gives us our denominator of tenths. And whatever we do to the denominator, we have to do to the numerator. So we have to multiply 4 times 2 as well. 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 2 is 10. So 4/5 is equivalent to 8/10. And we already know how to write 8/10 as a fraction. We have it right there. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these problems down here at the bottom. I'm going to leave this very easy guy for you. Hopefully you're all just screaming, I don't even have to divide that one. I know what that one is. Well, let's take a look at number 2. Number 2, we have 11/20. Remember, we need our denominator, that's the guy on the bottom, we need our denominator to be equal to either tenths or hundredths. In this situation, we're already over tens, so it's going to make most sense to go to 100. Well, then I have to think to myself, okay, what do I have to multiply by times 20 to get 100? Let's think about that. How many times does 20 go into 100? That's right, it goes in 5 times. So I'm going to multiply 11 times 5 and 20 times 5 because 5/5 is equal to 1, and because of the identity property, I should have an equivalent fraction. Well, 11 times 5 gives me 55, and 20 times 5 equals 100. So 11/20 is equivalent to 55/100, and we already know how to write 55/100. So I'm going to write that right down here on my line. 0.55 55/100. All right. Let's get rid of all this stuff over here, and we will move on to number. I don't want to do number 3. I'll let you guys do number 3. I've already done one with 20 in the denominator. Let's try something else. Ooh, I like this one. I like this one right here. I'm going to clear everything, put my 55/100 back up here. 55/100. Let's do number 4 down here. Okay, so, no, do we even need to do it? Let's talk about it real quick. So we already have 6/10. We don't even have to work that one out. We don't even have to work that one out because we've already written decimals as fractions before. So here you guys go. You guys know how to do that one. So let's take a look at number 5 instead. Number 5, we have 13/25. Well, write that down, 13/25. And then I think to myself, well, it's not going to work to have it go to tenths, so let's go to hundredths. Well, what do I need to multiply times 25 to give me 100? And I multiply 25 times 4, and whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator, so I have to multiply 13 times 4. I already know that 25 times 4 gives me that denominator of 100. And then 13 times 4 is going to give me 26, 39, 52. So my answer for number 5 is 52 hundredths, and I write 52 hundredths here on my line. 0.52 gives me 52 hundredths. This video is getting long, so I'm not going to go into dividing these out normally. Good luck with your homework, and I will see you guys tomorrow.